up already?
Yep.
That's what she said. Ha! Ha! Because you're fucking her! Welcome to the It's Network podcast episode
112? Pretty sure. I actually didn't check that. I just wrote it, and what I write is gospel, so.
True.
All right, there you go. I'm JD.
I'm Rosie.
And I'm Eric. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about honesty and the gaming community, or honesty with gamers.
And the effects it has
on life.
in general.
In general.
Just being that honest with
Yep.
you. Hey.
Starting it off like we do every week, asking each of us what wonderful games in the universe of gaming have we been playing?
JD, would you like to kick us off, right?
Yes, and I'll be honest with you.
Be honest.
I've been playing too much Overwatch.
Is it an addiction?
It is. I need to quit. I've been playing Overwatch, a little bit of Destiny. Well, actually 2 weeks I've been gone, so I might as well just say that. Overwatch, Destiny. I didn't get Marvel yet. I'm waiting until the weekend, or next week.
Marvel, baby.
That's why we thought you were gone.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
we were making jokes about that, like,
right.
he's sucked in.
It's like he's just bodying the whole world. Who's next?
No. Thanks to my brother, though, he did give me his old stick, PC stick. So I'll be actually playing on PC for Marvel.
That's good.
I wasn't planning on playing it on stick because I'm always worried about, because that pretty much means I have to get a PS4 stick to play Marvel. Sucks. But
Why this is up?
because it costs money.
Oh, that
trying to
sucks.
spend it.
Oh, okay.
But you look at what's on PC is probably going to be better load times, mods maybe.
As long as it's not like Mortal Kombat, you're fine.
What do you mean? It sucked. Oh yeah, it did. Didn't it? Yeah. No. From what I hear, no qualms. It's just
Good.
a lot of tinkering you have to do. Take out the VSync, make sure there's no screen tearing type stuff, all that jazz. But other than that, because when I've been playing something else, I can't really think of anything else. Yeah, just those two games really. Depressing, sad. I know. Rosie, what you been playing?
I've been playing Destiny 2. What a surprise. We've been
What?
talking about Destiny 2 for like the past 2 or 3 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
Same old. I think I'm broken up like the whole, like, I gotta be on every day. Otherwise, I'm not as strong as everybody kind of like thing. I'm glad there's a cap at 305 right now. I was like, all right, I'm 305. If anyone needs me, text me, give me a call. But I'm going to be playing Divinity Original Sin 2, which has been a blast of a game. Way better than Divinity Original Sin 1. They did so much improvements, so many ways to play that game. I fucking love that game to death.
Okay.
Like, I want to make sweet love
Get
to
the
that game.
fuck over it.
If you want to watch some gameplay of it, you can check out the Sunday Fun Day that Spencer and Rosie did last week.
And we're going to be planning on making a 4-man team coming up, not this coming up week, but probably the week after, next week, because a couple of us are going out of town, a couple of us don't have it yet, but we will have it. And we're going to play it together.
It's all four of us. If a couple of us are out of town, a couple don't have it. That's everybody. That's the roster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
it is.
It is the roster. Anywho, Eric, what have you been playing, buddy?
I've been playing 2 different games. Destiny 2. I beat the raid last week.
I asked if you did.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh.
Just a second ago.
Really?
What'd you say?
He said no.
Wait, what?
I don't remember this.
God damn it.
Yeah, he beat it with me and his buddies. Yeah, we beat it together.
Hey, y'all all beating it.
So
Yeah,
we all
circle
beat
beat.
the raid, and pretty much after that, I was like, all right, I beat the game. What do I do next? Like,
Wait.
Faction rallies.
Extra knowledge did come.
so I jumped on that and I played last night and just did PvP, just did my normal like get my powerful Engram stuff,
Right.
and I turned in and got like half the gear that New Monarchy offers. And I was like, cool. I really like the shader. Like, I really like the shader that they have for them. It's like this maroon and gold, like ASU colors. And I was like, sweet, I like that. And then the armor set, I was like, cool, I need another armor set so that I can so I can do like a fire, void, and striker build. And then I also want to do I figured out last night, I want to do a secondary or primary, like reload speed kind of thing, like to max that out. And then I want to do another build where like I max out my armor or max out my recovery or something like that.
That'd be sick.
Where I throw even more stats into that. Just kind of screwing around with that. But those are things that I'm trying to do to keep myself entertained with Destiny 2 at this point. There's lots more for me to do, like quests and side missions and all that kind of stuff for me to go do. Other guns and things for me to get, but I just don't really feel the need to.
Right.
Like after completing the raid, I went in there at 270, I finished it at 290, and now I'm sitting at 303.
Right.
And I drastically reduced how much I've been playing.
Same here, and I'm actually happy about that because I played the game like from like after work to like midnight essentially.
Yeah.
And which would be like 7 hours or so. I'm like, God. And then once we did it, and I got 305 and got the weapons I really like, I was just like, it's over. I'm free.
I'm free. But I mean, we actually do need to do the review on that and post that review, that discussion.
Right.
Because there are some tropes about the game that I am not happy with.
Yeah.
That I do want to share.
Is all the cheaters on there?
Yeah. Well, actually, I haven't run into too much since then, since that video. Also,
scared.
haven't done trials since, actually.
You're scared.
I'm too scared to run into
Oh, no,
many
not
cheaters.
you.
Other than that, I've been playing Knack II, which, funny enough, also came out the same day as Destiny 2 did. It was just a terrible decision for them.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that. Poor them.
Yeah.
It was made by Sony. I don't think they care.
Yeah.
Just throw it out there. Destiny 2 is coming out. Who cares? Just
They
throw it
didn't
out
even
there.
release it at a $60 game.
They
not
didn't
60.
release the first one at $60, did they?
I thought they did. I thought the first one was 60.
What's it selling for? 40?
40, yeah. It's like 34 after the Amazon or Best Buy 20% off thing. So it's so far like $34 for that game. I'm digging it so far.
Was it us, or was it maybe I watched another podcast or something? Was it us saying that, man, game prices for games have just gone really wonky and crazy?
Definitely wonky.
Because now
Definitely not the
it
same.
almost seems like they just sell it for any price that they feel like. I mean, but there used to be a standard, where, like, this is $60. Console games, $60. GameCube or Game Boy games and all handheld games, $40. And then PC just went fucking crazy, I guess, because they do whatever the hell they want.
Steam.
Yeah, Steam is just,
Yeah.
oh, this new game's coming out for $10. It's like, what? Fallout 4, $10 next week. It's like, okay, sure.
Fallout 3, $2.
Yeah. But it's just bizarre to me.
Days are.
Yeah, it's definitely it's nice, but it's also, I mean, you have games like Hellblade. That came out what, at $30?
$30, no physical copy.
Yeah, digital only.
Yeah, 30 or 40, something like that. Yeah.
And then you had games like Sonic Mania, $20.
Right. But that's an arcade game to me. So arcade games always seem like they were always 20.
It's an arcade game.
You know what I mean?
It came from an arcade.
No,
I remember.
Come on.
My Sega Genesis home system. Nah, I got you.
Well, like them games that were they just published on like the PS Store.
It
I
might
always
be
call them
more of a one-trick pony-esque thing.
Yeah, they always seem to sell for like $20 or so.
Well, Sonic Mania had a collector's edition copy and even physical copy that was a lot more expensive, actually. Now that I think of it, I think the collector's edition was
$80.
was 60 or 65.
$65. I was actually kind of close.
And then I think the ultimate collector's edition was like 120 or 140 or something like that.
Jeez, they suck you off.
Yeah, right. Gotta go fast.
Tails pops out.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean the gaming industry has definitely changed its pricing on video games, which is good, because in all honesty, there are certain things that shouldn't be valued at $60.
Right.
To where if you're looking at my size Barbie,
What?
10 edition, huh?
Great game.
Yeah, like if you're looking at that,
Is this really a game?
No, I'm just making up.
Oh,
words.
okay.
Come on, just go with it.
I thought it was a real game. I wanted to play
But
it.
the point being is like $60 for that experience or $60 for Assassin's Creed. or $60 for Uncharted, $60 for Last of Us.
Comes down to what you quantify as a good time.
Right.
People could say that about movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Right, but then you have games like Madden and Lego, whatever, to where they're releasing games yearly and they're barely changing the formula and all that kind of stuff, and it's basically just a roster update.
I wonder if Lego's ever gonna have like a mature Lego, Lego Holocaust or something.
Oh god.
Oh
Like,
god.
my god.
Lego
Auschwitz
World
edition.
War II.
Get the Auschwitz DLC.
Ugh.
God.
Get the Anne Frank
Tasteless.
DLC. Yeah.
Tasteless. But
Ugh.
yeah, that'd be interesting. It's like your Legos are finally bleeding. Like, whoa, we've grown.
It's like I thought they were just gonna break into pieces, but he's just leaking everywhere.
He's actually bleeding. Good.
Damn.
Not your typical Legos.
But yeah, the industry, it's nice to walk in and spend $5, $10, $15 on kind of just and get some form of entertainment out of it. Like the Sonic Mania game, granted it took me a handful of hours to beat the game. It offered some replay value, and I've still picked it up here and there just to play it and take a look at it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't I always feel guilty when I throw $60 at a game and then I barely play it. I play it enough to beat it and then throw it aside. Like when I don't go back and want to replay my games, I always feel a little bit cheated. Like
Really?
I always do.
I always just go with the experience of the game. Like, it never mattered how long or how much content is. It's how much I enjoyed the game. So if I'm like, yeah, this is great. Oh, it's over. I'm like, oh, that sucks. But I've never been like, oh, well, I beat the game in 5 hours. This game, I feel like I didn't get my money's worth. It's always been how I felt about the game.
Yeah, I agree with that. Once you finish the game, like once I finished Destiny 2, once I beat the raid boss, I was like, cool. I'm feeling good about that. Like that was a good fight. I love the raid. What do I do next? I'm gonna play a different game.
Right. That's because you honestly beat the game when you look at the content, which we're going to talk about in the
review. Yeah.
But when you think of the content, you're like, all right, I did this. What's left for me? I got to do the raid. And once I beat the raid, that's every bit of content that's available to me. So as soon as I beat that, I beat the game. Yeah. That's always been kind of my mindset on it.
I didn't even have I didn't tell myself that. I literally just beat the raid and go, all right, what's next? I got nothing. I don't. There's nothing that takes priority, or there's nothing after that, because like the prestige modes and 300 plus light level things, I was like, I don't care.
Right.
Like it's just a horde mode at that point. I love but point being is that for me, like when I finish a game 5 hours in and I feel great about it, I'm like, that was a great game. If I don't ever recommend that game or want to go back to that game, or if I never think about that game again, to me, I look back at it like, was it really?
Was it
really so good that now I don't even think about it anymore?
That's an interesting thought process. If you don't even think about the game, like, man, that was a good game. Short, but it was a good game. Then I guess, I can see your point on that, man.
Because like now, like looking back on like 1866. The Order 1866.
Right.
I played through, beat the game, and the only times I ever go back and think about that game is going, God, like, it was so short. Like nothing significant happened.
I'll tell you a significant thing. They showed dick.
Did they?
Yeah. I was like,
I never
whoa! When I was playing, it's holy shit.
That's a dick.
Yeah, that's a dick. Or the death scenes; those are pretty violent.
Yeah, nothing about that game really stood out to me. Like nothing.
But that's more than just the content or the length of the content. That's more.
That's how it affects you too.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, what I'm saying is that he's also saying even when he was playing the game, he's like, there's nothing that significant happened, right?
I mean, the game was fine. Like nothing was bad about it really when I was playing it. But then once I finished it, I was just kind of like. And then...
Right. That's what I mean. It's like, did anything stand out while playing the game?
The quick time action event when you fight that first werewolf.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
That was like that one was like, oh, that's how I have to kill these things. They're that badass that
It takes some work.
yeah, it's not just hack and slash. There actually will be like a short cinematic with it.
Yeah.
That stood out to me, but
I think
And with that
a couple
mirror-
of shooting scenes, that the airship was kind of cool. I like the environment.
And with that mirror to what you found stood out, is that enough to recommend that game to somebody?
no.
Exactly.
No. The
Well,
only
that
time
game's
I would ever recommend that game is that if someone said, man, I have loved every Assassin's Creed game in there. I love the history that they show off. I'd be like, oh. And I'm going to cosplay as a steampunk guy this year.
Oh.
You're going to like the Order 1866. Not simply, it's not steampunk, but the alternate history thing. The alternative history thing is something that a lot of people dig in, like Abraham Lincoln the Vampire Slayer.
Right.
Like, things like that. People are like, huh, wouldn't that be funny if he actually was a vampire slayer?
I don't. Who said that?
It's a movie, dude.
I know. I mean, but who said that beforehand?
Right.
Oh, it was
The
a
guy that made it.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it was a book.
And then the
beforehand.
people who gave him the money to make it.
A movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Golly.
No, that game, I think that IP still has a future. They just need to make it multiplayer.
Yeah, like a two armies kind of thing.
Two army.
Army of Two.
Army of two, sorry.
No, I mean like even just multiplayer competitive against people.
Yeah.
Maybe mess around with the way the gameplay works. The setting is nice. It's just they need to do more with it. Is the thing. So
From what I'm seeing, it looks nice.
yes, it's,
It was.
for what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. I
Sell it
was,
for like $20.
all right.
But yeah, the pricing on video games has definitely been what I like the improvements that we've been making to pricing on video games. Just like when you would go to the arcade, there'd be certain games that cost $0.25, others $1,
Right.
others 50 cents. I liked having that. Like, well, I'm a cost-effective gamer. I need to play all the quarter games, and I need to
Right.
find the one I like or the one I'm good at, or the one that's gonna cough up the most tickets so I can get more toys.
Right. Plus, it was never your money. It was always like your parents' money, and they only gave you like $10. It's like I gotta make this last, otherwise we're gonna be in and out in a second.
Yeah, it's insane to me like how quickly you can pop through $10. Like in like 10 minutes you could blow out $10 just like playing. Do you remember the skateboard game?
Oh, the one with the rails.
The
And-
rails.
yeah, I
and,
love
the
that game.
Crappy like basically pipe that just did this,
Right.
and that was you ollieing and doing tricks and stuff. That game was like $1 a piece, and you would die so quick if you just turned too sharp.
Yeah, that was always the craziest thing. First time I played that, I was done in like a minute. And I was like, all right, what do I need to do to actually get more time? It's like, oh, there's objectives. So then it wasn't even like I'm just having fun with the game. It was like, I gotta get the time. I can't do fucking tricks, otherwise I'll kill up my time. And so I was like just following the thing, jumping, but not doing tricks because I didn't want to fall.
Yep.
And so I would jump, grab it, and come back down, completely ignoring the whole point of the game, which was to do sick tricks.
Yep. They should have had like a free-for-all mode with like a time limit, like a 5-minute time window where you could just do whatever you want.
You're right.
But point being, game pricing, they varied then, they still vary now. Glad that I think Steam actually is one of the major reasons that game pricing has changed like that.
Yeah.
I think without Steam we would not have. Oh wait, that's kind of hard because I kind of feel like Steam's the blame for the start of it all, the over flooding of the market with just $60 requests.
Steam's part of the problem in the sense of, in my opinion, in the sense of greenlighting. I hate the concept of greenlighting because well, greenlighting's okay. Early access is what I hate because early access games can stay early access
Forever.
I don't know if I had the discussion with you or if I had it with Spencer. DayZ is still early access.
Oh
For
yeah.
real?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. Rust is still early access.
Oh
Days to
my
Die
God.
is still early access.
Yeah, well,
There's still games in.
they got to work on that.
They're games, but the question is when is it okay to charge?
They have. When you say early access, are you talking also about the games that are in beta?
No, I'm talking about literally how Steam categorizes them.
Right.
They're still called early access,
Gotcha.
and that's kind of an interesting thing because you look at it and go, it's early access implies there will be a point where it's just, I don't know, late access, on time access,
Yeah, right.
something. But a lot of those games have been in that stage for so long. There's no real chance of them being a retail.
And not only that, what qualifies a game for early access in a way? Because like DayZ is complete. Like they do essentially patches and like make updates to it like any other game. So but it's a fully functional game that people play, stream, and everything. So at that point, is it ready? Like, is it full retail ready?
Well, what defines a complete game?
Yeah,
but that's
where the developer consumer relationship, like the mistrust there starts to bleed through, and just like how honest are they with the consumer?
Right. Because that's the thing. It's like now I look at early access and like, is it like early access or kind of early access where it's done but it's just not out?
As a consumer, anytime I see early access, my brain says, well, your funding might get cut and I won't get to play the full game.
Right.
Like you may not finish this game. Like you've finished a couple levels and I'm getting to play the demo. And your funding may be cut, so I may not get to ever play this game again. Or your servers will go down, and this game is based on servers, and it's going to have to go to private servers for me to even be able to play you. I'm not even going to attempt to play. Like, as much as I may love the concept, I'm not going to throw money until I know that it's like has a release date.
Like the Divinity Original Sin 2, I went in early access just because I know that game's coming out.
Yeah.
Right.
It depends on the developer.
Right.
If you can really, and the thing that sucks is a lot of those developers are not established yet.
Yeah, so they don't have
It's
any.
their first big title or something.
Yeah.
So you run into that issue a lot. On the subject of sort of that mistrust thing, there's a lot of discussions about. I think the No did a thing on it, and they sort of talked about it. That was kind of interesting to bring up. Is how do people look at? Let me take that back. Look at an example of Capcom.
Okay.
All right, and I bring this up because I find it hilarious. I've talked about it once or twice before already, but the concept of, giving the gamers what they want. Right? Capcom was blatantly called Cashcom for an extended period of time. I think they got that term mainly from looking at how they do a bunch of ports for like Resident Evil or some of their older games, and then they're still doing it. And then things like Street Fighter. Street Fighter was a big deal. Street Fighter 4 came out, sort of revitalized fighting games and all that stuff.
Right.
There was a drought between 2000 and 2007. There wasn't really any crazy fighters, here and there, but none that was really iconic that allowed people to really just go, yes. And then they started releasing, they released Super Street Fighter. Then they released, was it Super Street Fighter? It was Arcade Edition. No, Arcade Edition.
Omega?
It was Ultra, and then Arcade Edition, I think, or something along those lines. But there was a lot of iterations.
Right.
Marvel vs. Capcom then became Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Things along those lines started coming out. People were like, oh, Cashcom, can't trust them because they're just going to release another iteration. And then the joke was when they released Street Fighter 5, they said, we're not going to release that sort of edition. There's rumors right now that they probably are. But they said, no, we're not. We're going to do DLC only. And that's fine, but a lot of people were going, I'm waiting for Ultimate Street Fighter 5. And what that sounds like is a major mistrust of the company. Now, the difference between that is Street Fighter 4, some of the complaints were, man, the game just doesn't feels pretty simple. You have your optimal combos and whatnot, and it's all about getting your jump in, doing your combos, and blah, blah. Street Fighter 5, they sort of switched that up, and they did sort of the antithesis. Some people aren't happy with it, some people are. Then you look at Resident Evil. Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 5, people like too actiony. They go Resident Evil 7.
Perfect.
Bring it back to it's
Make me feel
roots.
afraid.
Make you feel afraid and all that shit. Fuck the bakers, all that jazz, right? But people are upset about Resident Evil 7. And they go, it's Cashcom again.
How?
I don't know, to be honest. People have said that Resident Evil 7 is like garbage, and I'm like, I genuinely don't agree with that because I really like that game, but I also objectively.
What did they say? And why did
so a
they
lot
like
of people's concerns is just the camera angle. So between first person and third, some people. Well, I'm not speaking for the masses here, but the main one I have heard is the camera angle. I'm sure there's other one-off things where people are like, oh, I just don't like the character. Or I want to punch boulders again.
Is the game bad because of the camera angle? Like, is it
people
like,
can equate that and feel that relates, but that's not. It's more of an opinion than it is an objective.
Right, because that's not really. I mean, to be like this game's awful, they hate it or not. Like to be off of, it's a camera angle.
Right.
It's like, is that really all you need?
My point that I'm getting to essentially is that there was a level of distrust that was brought up, and then when a company does start to turn into it and give more of what people would like, there's the discussion of, well, no, this is bad too. And my question to you guys is there ever a situation in which a developer works their way out and becomes this like trusted company? We look at EA, we talked about EA Sports Big.
Right.
If EA Sports Big came back,
I'd
probably be like all on board and be like, yeah, EA did a good job with that. Right. But in any other context, we go, well, I don't know if I really like them. Because we look at their normal, how they normally handle their games, right? It's yearly releases. Some of the games are, I wouldn't say half done, but they just sort of miss the mark. They're more split from the player base. They don't listen to everything that they say maybe.
I feel, to me, and here's I guess where some of my childishness comes into play. I feel like, and I just don't, maybe I don't know the situation, but I feel like EA is what kind of messed up BioWare. When they because BioWare was doing their own thing, doing all sorts of little small projects, Baldur's Gate, golly, I can't believe, Dragon Age Origins, which I think
Origins is great,
yeah, Origins. But the more they were, they were around and EA put their influence into them, I feel like the quality of the games got not diminished. It changed in a way that I didn't like.
You didn't subscribe to.
I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't really into anymore. And they're gonna keep going with this theme of how they're gonna, they're doing right now, and I'm not happy about it. And here's another game, a little game called Mirror's Edge.
What is that?
It's a first-person.
You are so dramatic about that.
What?
A little game called Mirror's Edge.
Did I do that? I was trying, honestly, I was doing that because I was like
okay.
Because I was thinking, I was like, wait, what's his name? It's Mirror's Edge. I'm trying.
Right, yeah. Mirror's Edge did the free running thing. They thought that's what people wanted, but that's also a problem with people listening to their player base. Maybe they didn't want that.
No, but
they shouldn't have done it because they were listening to people. Oh, it'd be great to run around the city.
No, it was good.
No, you shouldn't have run around the city. That was a big problem that people had, was the free roaming aspect. And it was more action centric, but it wasn't just levels and doing the time trials and speed runs.
That's
what made it fun to people.
That's what I thought was fun. Yeah, that was the best part.
Yeah, but when.
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway.
No, because because here I wasn't even bringing that part of it. What people on when Mirror's Edge 2 didn't.
That's what I'm saying. Mirror's Edge 2 was the free run from free roam. People didn't.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking about. My bad. Yeah, and not only that, there was a big discussion in the company in which, like, hey, should she have be able to use guns? And it's just like, no. Why would she be shooting people?
Well, she wasn't the first one. She could.
She could, but just
there's an achievement for not even shooting a gun.
Yeah, but to me, I guess maybe that's some part of the freedom of it all. Is that it always seemed like you were just trying to like outrun everybody and just get to the next point as fast as possible. It was never like I was ever stopping to like, and shooting people. Right. It was just kind of like knock the gun out, run, keep running. And I mean, like you said, there was achievements for not using the gun. I felt like that was what the game was all about. It was just kind of like being a runner, not a soldier, essentially.
Right. But I guess the sort of overall thing is the aspect of the relationship between the developer and the player.
Right.
And according to that tidbit from the know, there have been developers that want to talk to their fan base or their community and discuss some of the things that they want to happen in the game, but due to backlash is not something that is realistic, is feasible, just because a lot of people are passionate about games. Like, we can be passionate about games, but I don't think we ever get to the point where we go, well, I mean, I can only really speak for myself, I guess, then. Not saying you guys do it, but I know in the situation of with a fighter, a new fighter coming out, like Street Fighter, for instance. Yeah, I played a lot of Street Fighter. Makoto's not in it. Sucks.
Yeah.
And if Makoto came in, I'd be all over that game.
Right.
But because she's not in it, and if there was like a developer conference where they go, Makoto's never going to be in it, doesn't mean I suddenly shit on the game.
Yeah,
but I would look at it differently than someone else who goes, say Destiny 3 is coming out, and they go, we're switching up all the classes. There's now going to be 5 classes.
That's great.
And they're splitting up. Not everyone's going to have arc abilities. Not everyone's going to have Nova. Not everyone's going to have Solar. Or Void and Solar. So you need to build your teams a little bit differently. You might be like, hey, that's cool. But someone else takes it a little bit differently. And maybe they're the louder person. And they're getting on forums going, this is fucking bullshit. They're ruining the great formula they had, or something like that. Which sort of lends itself to the concept of being reactionary vice. Just, reactionary at news, not seeing how something plays out. So, like, if they go, hey, the new Divinity 3 is going to have 6 characters instead of 4. Someone looks at that differently, but they haven't seen how it plays out.
Right.
But they go, oh, that's dumb. And that's sort of what that sort of discussion was, is they want to have that talk with the community, but if something gets cut or something changes that they don't agree with, then it creates this concept of, well, you guys are ruining this game, or blah blah,
or misinterpreted, which gets happened quite a bit. Right,
misinterpretation is definitely something that happens, and it's sort of more of an environment that we've created. And there was an article on Reddit, I actually looked it up, where people are going like, are we too hard on developers? Are we too hard on games in general? And the responses I was getting were just so, I guess you could say, deflective. I mean, I didn't create the article, obviously, but people were going like, I have been too hard on games, but it's because of the community. It's like,
what?
Well, I mean, you're in control yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're too hard on a game, it's because you yourself feel that way. If the community subscribes or agrees with you on that, then that's just you guys agreeing. But you're the one that said, hey, this game is stupid, or whatever, at whatever point in your life that you're trying to tell.
It almost sounds like you're just following a crowd at that point, instead of actually having your own opinion. If you're going to be like, I've been too hard because they're too hard, instead of actually being like, they're too hard, so I try to be softer,
So, well, I mean, yeah, but the point of what I'm trying to get at is, do you guys feel that if developers were consistently transparent, that would affect their product or how people would purchase it?
Yes, to be honest, you can be transparent with people. Because
I get to an extent, like leaks are a problem. Yeah. Right? Like when leaks come out, that can fuck with a game. Like severely, because they want you to buy it because there is that payoff. Right. But in other aspects, hey, we're including a multiplayer mode in GTA 5. It's going to allow you to play multiplayer. It's a big deal. Oh, it's in 4, but we're taking it to the next level. That kind of stuff. Right. Talking and having that discussion about a feature that is widely known or something like that. Do you guys feel that that's something that's?
There was one of my friends this last week or 2 weeks ago told me that he found that there was a leak or a spoiler about the new Star Wars movie that's coming out that made him not want to go see the movie. Like, he's like, oh, okay. Like, he lost interest in seeing the movie because of a leak or a spoiler.
But is that the developer's fault at that point? Or...
No, I mean, that's not directly a developer issue. That's more so... That's the internet's issue. That's why the internet ruined gaming.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Go back 4 episodes. No, that's one of my issues with it, is where everyone has to know everything immediately.
Yeah.
Like, they have to be the first to know things. Like when YouTube had that thing, or not just YouTube, but first comment. It's
first,
like, first. It's like you're the first one to do something.
I was subscribed to PewDiePie before he hit 1 million.
Yeah.
I actually was. But I'm not running around going.
What kind of achievement is that, though?
I don't know. One for your EP.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It sounds like an EP, unless you get some sort of like sick ass status.
It was kind of hard at the time to not subscribe to him because he was one of the only guys that was doing that. So it doesn't. You don't get a trophy. You just, hey, I was on YouTube before the other people were. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, like a lot of people want to be the first one, or they have to know things, and it drives me nuts. Like when I'm sitting there talking to someone and they can't just say, oh, I didn't know that. They have to say, oh, no, I knew. That drives me nuts because it's like, I don't look at you as less of a human being
if you don't know
something. Like, this is a conversation. It goes both ways. If you just tell me you knew everything that I'm saying, or if you don't try and engage with anything I'm saying, even if you know, like, there's times people will tell me all about their Blink-182, and I just stare at them and just watch and just listen and stuff. And if they ever go way off base, we're like, oh yeah, Tom DeLonge, he used to be a chef. I'd be like, no, he wasn't. Like, he's a high school dropout, and like I'll like explain, like, no, yeah, actually this. He did work in a burrito shop, like not a chef.
You're not designed to just cut them off and be like, fuck you, no, I knew before you.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
well, I mean, there's a career. It's called information technology. So, I mean, there's that. I guess, I mean, we live in an era of information, but I know exactly what you're talking about, because you'll have a personal thing that's happening to you. Like, at work, there's a couple guys that do that, and I'll be like, so I was doing this, like, you know, this thing, and I'll be talking about this, like, claim or whatever. And then they'll be like, yeah, no, that's what happens. I'm like, you know, like, this is exclusive to me. Like, chill. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's irritating, but that's what people want. People want the new next big thing.
Immediately.
Phones, fucking consoles, cars. I mean, it's not just electronics anymore. It's just, you know, that they want to have that next big thing. Red Dead story was already leaked.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, got announced. I need to play through Red Dead Redemption.
Have you
you should do it on stream.
I want to, but I'm hoping they get a PC release for it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll just stream the whole thing on the PC and just go nuts. But if not, it's out on PS4, isn't it? Or is it PlayStation Now, or is it actually on the PS4?
I think it's PlayStation Now.
So I'm probably not going to get it.
Have you done PlayStation Now yet?
I did it, but I did it with fighters, so that's the problem.
Well, no, my question was, like, have you already spent your trial?
No, I did Troy's.
Okay, so you can still use your trial, and during that trial, finish Red Dead.
What how long is it? Like, is it a week or something?
I think it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
I think it's 14 days.
I could beat it in that time frame. I mean, it sucks because I got Marvel coming up, but if I don't
just time it right.
Well, if I don't get it, if I don't get it before Friday, I could do it Monday. Maybe. We'll see. Stuff to consider. Yeah. But yeah, no, that world is very real, and unfortunately, it's exhausting. People need to be like, even if you look at things like how Kotaku, Polygon, GameSpot, any of those other guys' blog sites will like post. They have to be the first to post something that's like newsworthy or whatever, because it's hits, it's views, it leads to money. Yeah. So you get into that mentality of thinking, and then, I mean, we're like that with YouTube videos. Subscribe. I mean, hey, like, comment, subscribe. But guess what? So you can be the first to get that new video thing, so you keep up with what's going on and what we're doing.
I just want to be the first one to make you laugh at the beginning of the day.
There you go.
Oh,
there you go. I just want to wake up next to you and tell you look pretty. And
by the way, you look good today.
You look great, actually.
Look fantastic.
I see you on that phone. Yeah, it's a little bit of smile that came up. Hey, you got some great pearly whites. Make sure you show them off.
Right.
Hey, you're appreciated.
You're gonna get that promotion.
Yeah. You're gonna get the girl, the guy.
What was that, Spencer?
You're ugly as fuck.
Wow, how could you, Spencer? The rest of us think you're beautiful, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, down with Spencer. So, but because of all these leaks and stuff like that, we run into the issue where like developers want to restrict themselves. We did. There's a thing that they talked about for the actors, the voice actors strike. One of the things that I thought was really interesting about that was one of the stipulations that's being reviewed is they want the ability to have more insight as far as to the game's development. But developers wouldn't want that.
Yeah. Because
that means that you're another liability.
Yeah.
You're someone that could potentially leak the story. And it's happened. Hollywood has a hard enough time. Imagine doing it to someone who's like sort of, no offense to anyone that does voice acting, but you know, more C-list, D-list stars or something like that.
Didn't Kiefer Sutherland leak a little bit more about NGSV?
He did.
Didn't he want it?
Well, I mean, it's Kojima. That guy's crazy. But I mean, even if you look at stuff like Infinity War, Mark Ruffalo leaked a lot.
Did he?
And then Don Cheadle's like, dude, and he's like, I mean, you know. So it's all over the place. Like all that stuff is it's so hard to keep up with. What makes you think that someone who maybe they don't value games to the same extent as someone else, as the voice actor might not value it to the same extent. He'll just be like, oh, you know what.
There's definitely that point of like trying. I was talking with one of my friends and speaking on specifically Destiny talk. There was this thing that I found that I got super excited about, and it was this character's name. And,
I remember this.
Oh yeah, so it was this character's name, and I was super excited about it. I was like, oh, I think I figured out who's gonna take over as the new Taken King and all this stuff, and I'm gonna go look and scour Nessus and find out more lore so I can figure this out. And then my buddy goes, oh no, that's so and so Forest, blah blah blah. That's from Destiny 1. You just weren't paying attention, and like all my excitement just went. Oh. I guess I won't play tonight then. Like my drive that night was to find more information.
Yeah.
And someone just pops in and goes, no. And then when I was like, dude, you totally spoiled that for me.
Right.
He's like, that's not a spoiler. You just didn't pay attention to Destiny 1. And I'm like, but I didn't know that. And now I'm not going to play to find the answer and figure it out myself. Mm-hmm. You took that away from me.
Yeah, no, that could very well be a spoiler to an extent. I mean, granted, yes, if you're maybe you should have known about it or whatever, but at the same time, it's sort of reading the room. You know, oh man, this is super cool. Oh man, I need to explore this.
So
or something like that.
To know it from Destiny 1, though, I would have had to go online and read every Grimoire card. And like they didn't mention this character. Like they mentioned her once in
I
Destiny
blame the
1.
presentation.
Yeah,
with the
like,
Grimoire cards.
So how am I supposed like? He couldn't have assumed that I would have known it because like Destiny 1 did a terrible job of telling its story.
Right.
So assuming that I knew the story of Destiny 1,
a Grimoire card stats.
Right.
Yeah, like you shouldn't assume that people have read the Grimoire cards on Destiny 1.
Yeah. It's almost like a rule.
Yeah. People like revolted against that.
What's the problem? Light. Kill things. All right, cool. That's it. And then the second one, oh, well, you lost the light, and here's why, the Wanderer, and then, cool, that's fine. But before then, yeah, no, I got you. It's, that's, what's it called? Problem with Dark Souls. A lot of people, when the first Dark Souls came out, the wiki eventually was established, but it was not established at the time. Or if it wasn't readily available. I didn't know about it. And the main thing I pulled from was strategy guides. I bought the Dark Souls strategy guide when it came out, because I was like, fuck yeah, I love Dark Souls. Played through it, had a blast, and then I was pretty much done. People going into Dark Souls 2 that might not have played Dark Souls 1, there's a whole story about the cycle and how everything works and stuff like that. People they don't know about that. They think this is isolated from that, and then when you go, well, here's how they actually connect, then people are like, oh, okay. But imagine knowing about it beforehand. That's ridiculous. Like, that's mind-blowing. Like, holy shit, so blah, blah, blah happened? And then that's why all those lore videos are so popular. People that do different lore videos for like Bloodborne and stuff like that, and Dark Souls and things of that nature. They're popular because people like the information aspect of it. That these guys are willing to scour and do the work for them to feed it to them in a bite-sized chunk.
I love Audible.
Yeah.
Well, actually, one of the cool things about you is that you actually like care about the lore. And great thing about playing with you is that you will explain things to me that it's like, oh shit, really? Like. Because it's how we value the game. Mm-hmm. You value it for more than just the gameplay. You value
in Bloodborne sense, yeah. I fucking adore that game. But
yeah. You value it for more than just the gameplay. Me, I just like killing things. So I'm just like,
it's got to die.
Yeah, you're gonna die. Boss battle, finish the game. Yes, awesome. I don't give a shit who. But when you explain to me now, these things have more context. The fight actually means much more. I'm like, oh, that's who this guy is? That's what that is? It's like, fuck yeah. Thank you for telling me. But
there's a specific strike in D2. Do you remember?
Diablo 2? Diablo 2? Yeah. That's what... hey, man,
Destiny
that's what I'm used to.
In Destiny 2, there's a fight in there with the purple crystals.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
That is a fight that you want to pay attention to the story. You really want to pay attention to that. It completely changes the mood of that whole strike.
I mean, I wish they did a better job of going into it, because I get the gravity of your actions, but I also wish that it was introduced a little bit earlier. Maybe
Right.
just in a cutscene, something that forced you to pay attention just in the game, and then you finally interact with them for the first time, and you're like, shit.
Honestly, I didn't understand what he was like. They were all sad about until the third time I did that strike. Because I was listening, because I was shooting things and listening, but then he's like,
Wrecking everything.
yeah. And then he's like, wait, what'd you say, Ghost? All right, let's go.
Okay.
There was I actually, like, maybe 4 or 5 days ago, the other two guys that we play with that are 305 Light,
Right.
I just explained to them that story as we were doing it.
They didn't know either.
No.
They play that game way more than us. And they didn't. I know we've done that strike at least 1,000 times. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't feel so bad now.
Yeah, they hadn't noticed it either. I think it was almost maybe a week ago. And I kind of explained it to them. But it was like, it was one of those cool things that, like, as we were running through it, we are also talking and BSing, and I'm like, hey guys, and instead of going at the pace of the story, I just got to a point where, like, hey, so this is what's going on. Kind of like how when we were playing Knack, like, I didn't explain every line that we saw. We'd get to a breaking point, and I'd be like, all right, here's what's going on, and then continue with running around, and then we get to another one, and I'd drop a couple sentences of dialogue for what's going on. But it was near the end, I just watched them walk up and just start smashing those things, and I was like, Like, they just not even thinking, just walked up and started smashing stuff, and I was like, every time I do it now, like, I'm always hesitant. Like, I wait a couple seconds, I look around the room a little bit.
Wait
like,
for other people to do it.
I either let
It's like
other
me on
people
my
do
conscience.
it. I either let other people do it, or I'm trying to find, like, is there a secret here, like,
Yeah, I was
where I can not do this?
there's got to be a different way to end that strike, was what I kept thinking. It's like, that's just unusual, you know?
Yeah.
But guess not.
But they also, if you don't know what's going on, if you're not paying attention,
Right.
it doesn't really seem like anything.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, there was a mission on Titan where I had to kill all these like orange orbs. Now I'm killing purple crystals.
Right.
Different color, same concept.
Yep.
But is it?
Yes, I got it. Boom, boom. But as soon as I heard it, that one was like boom, 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 boom.
Question mark gunshot.
Yeah. Like, oh God. And then I was like, boom. Well, gotta keep going. Boom, boom, boom.
I need my loot.
Yeah.
I need to finish this so I can use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all the spoiler stuff aside, huh?
Totino's pizza rolls right now sound delicious.
All of the spoiler stuff aside, pulling it back to just sort of, I mean, that aspect is a part of that relationship and whatnot. And is tumultuous the right word? It's a very interesting relationship between a developer and a gamer. And a lot of people like to think that transparency is important, but sometimes, or like player feedback is important. But some companies know better than others about the product that they're making.
Yes.
And sometimes it's better to let the developer do their thing. It's their job. It's what they've been working on. You've just been going to school or working at your separate job, doing your own thing. These guys have made that their life to make this game good, at least for a couple of years. And when it's always interesting to me when, like, if it's no surprise, I hate gamer entitlement. I think it's the stupidest fucking thing.
Gamer what?
Entitlement.
Oh,
like when a game comes out and it doesn't appeal to you, you go, the game's shit, instead of it doesn't appeal to me.
Right.
There's a difference. And I am more pro developer, of course, but at the same time, you know, that relationship sometimes is good, sometimes it's bad. It's all about how it's reviewed. If we look at fighting games, we see that a lot with the difference between a Western and an Eastern developer. Capcom won't necessarily listen and go, this character's unbalanced. Meanwhile, NetherRealm will go, they're unbalanced? All right, we're unbalancing him and 6 other people that you guys don't like. Evo, Aquaman, Deadshot, Black Adam. I'm trying to think who else.
Who else was? They didn't do anything with.
Let's just give those examples.
Right. They didn't do anything with Batman.
Were nerfed, like crazy nerfed. Well, not crazy nerfed, but pretty badly nerfed. Like Aquaman being pretty substantial as far as to what he could do and what he can no longer do. So it's a big deal for a Western developer to look at and go, all right, we're gonna change that. So, and granted, it's generalizing. It's a little bit generalized. So let's try not to get too much into it. But just looking at those two companies and how they handle QA is completely different. And I would, there's more examples. I would just have to, go a little bit more in depth. But stuff like that's always interesting because you go, which one was the better decision? Is it to, in the case of Street Fighter, when the second year of Street Fighter V came out, people go, oh, well, Laura's too good. Laura can do too many things. She's one of the lowest tier characters in the game now. Because people are just used to fighting her. Same thing with Wesker, Marvel. You get used to fighting him, and suddenly he's no longer a threat. I mean, he's still a threat. He's always going to be a threat because of what he can do. But he's not that crazy.
You know exactly what he does.
Exactly.
Everyone uses him.
You know the extent of his strength, so you're just like, oh, well, he's not really all that bad anymore. And then that changes the meta.
God damn it! I was just thinking to myself, like, I'm so proud of these guys. They haven't said the word meta once. I'm so proud of them.
That's why fighting games has always been so aggravating to me in that aspect. Just because a lot of this stuff, the whole meta or the whole like
the
whole like
misconceptions.
But you can a lot of times in fighting games you can adapt. Like it's all depending on the player himself when it comes to fighting games, because if they don't know, I can play the top tier character against you. It's still gonna be probably in your favor because you just know the game more than me. Mm-hmm. You're probably a better fighting game player than me.
Yep.
But not even probably, you are. Okay. But so it doesn't really matter if I'm playing like what was it, Miguel? Miguel got a super buff.
Miguel's good, yeah.
Against your
I mean, you could say
all right, let's just bring it back to Wesker. I'll play my Wesker to your Ghost Rider in MVC3.
Yeah.
So, and you still probably can beat him because I don't know how to use Wesker. I just know he's good.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's those things too, and with player feedback, community feedback, etc. like that. It's all about how you take it and what you do with it. A good example of a Western developer that doesn't really listen to the community, and for good reason, is Blizzard with Overwatch, for instance. Mm-hmm. When they look at Overwatch, some of the things that people are requesting, when D.Va got nerfed the first time ever, and they switched how her armor worked, because they super buffed her and then they retracted a lot of that stuff because they were like, well, that's different, because she was getting picked a lot more and she was winning a lot more, but they don't want one character to win more than anybody else. They try and keep an average going, with the exception being you can skew the results like Symmetra. She has a high win rate. People go, oh, well, that must mean she's really good. No, people switch off of her when they're losing. Because and if you're with her, it's like a momentum thing. All right, great, yeah, keep going. Fuck it. They can't get around these traps. So she has a higher win rate than most of the cast because she only gets played for niche situations. And in those niche situations, if she works out, you keep playing her.
Right.
And you drop her if she sucks. But with D.Va, they retract a lot of stuff and people go, D.Va's one of the worst characters ever. Oh my God. And then Jeff Kaplan goes, we've reviewed these, your concerns, but we've also looked at the actual pick rate for her. And she's less than 3%. Less than 3% of the entire community has played this version of her. Don't be so quick to judge. It's a good point because at the end of the day, the vocal minority is obviously what's getting projected there, and it's up to the developers to sort of look at that and go, have that relationship with your player base and be transparent, but also stick to your guns in the sense of that's not a good move for us. We would know better than you guys, and while you guys play this game in and out every day, we made this game in and out every day. So there's a difference on how we understand the game versus how you do.
Another example of that is MKX, where they brought it back, even though they're I'm not gonna. Well, MKX, you've seen a whole bunch of dead characters come back in that game.
Right.
That's just
a small comment.
Yeah. And one of the weirdest complaints was that Jade's not in the game. And then NetherRealm went like, looking at MK9. Only 2% of the population, or the gaming population, play Jade. Why would we bring her back?
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, shut up, bring her back. We need more characters. And it's like, what? Like, they already have like a big group of characters, plus all the combat kids, so it doesn't really matter.
After growing up with World of Warcraft and playing that game as my first game where I really cared about patches, I will say World of Warcraft listened to the community way too much. Yeah. They made so many ease of life changes, and then finally near the end decided to start trying to reel it back. But at that point, I'd lost so much interest in the game because what I didn't realize was allowing me to min-max my end game content. It was making me not play the reason that I fell in love with the game kind of thing. Right. Like the world itself, the World of Warcraft became just Warcraft because I didn't go and explore the world. Right. I went from war campaign to war campaign. Like, here's a battle, here's a battle, here's a battle, here's a battle, and then it was just little patchy teleports that I was doing all over the place to go do all this stuff. I never had to go out into the world and do anything. Right. I could get to max level, not like sitting in one zone or going online and just playing PvP all day. I could go to max level, and it was like, cool, max level, time to get gear to go raid or go do raided battlegrounds or PvP or whatever. I don't have to go out into this world and explore. But that's the part that actually made me fall in love with the game, was the lore and just the vastness of the world and everything going on in it, and the oh shit, am I gonna get jumped right now by 2 level 70s when I'm level 62 or something? How am I gonna get away? All that experience that I gathered from playing, and then going to the developer and being like, yeah, I just want to fast travel. I want all of that experience I had of being in Red Ridge Mountains, sitting there as an Alliance character trying to accomplish something while a bunch of Horde were coming down and ganking us. Right. But still trying to complete my quest and all that stuff. Like, for the longest time, I didn't know how that quest was supposed to go, because every time I went there was some Horde I had to fight, and it detoured me for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And found out that it's only like a 30-second quest.
And they're just a bunch of prigs.
Yeah.
But then everyone complained about it from the community, and Blizzard said, yep, let's change this. And they just made a bunch of fast travel, and they added flying. Gearing was super easy.
I will say this, flying ruined that game.
Yeah.
Like, easily, because instead of actually seeing the content, you were constantly doing pop up in the air, go over it, drop down, kill whatever you need to kill, pop up in the air, go. Because that's just the easiest way to just get shit done.
Yeah, it's really hard when you have the option to fly to not do it. Like, right. Even though in the, I don't remember which one it was, I knew that flying was I was cheating myself. I knew it was a bad idea, but I continued to do it.
Wrath of the Lich King? I'm trying to think which one was the one where it...
I think it was Wrath of the Lich King.
Where it wasn't the one that introduced it, but it was one after in which it killed it.
Yeah.
Because it was a whole bunch of like, you can either go around the mountain, or you can just go over the mountain. And
well, because Wrath of the Lich King, they allowed you to start flying at like 2 levels after.
Right.
You could start flying immediately. That was the first one that allowed you to level while flying. To where Outlands... What is that one called? I think it was... whatever.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to think.
Hey, what's up, and Drew the Lady Love? I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
But playing Burning Crusade. That's the name.
Yeah.
Burning Crusade, when that came out, they didn't allow you to fly until you hit max level.
Right.
When you hit 70, that's when they introduced it.
Right. Which was like, oh, this is awesome.
But then when you hit 72 or 71 in Wrath of the Lich King,
yeah.
That one you could get cold weather flying and start flying. It was slow, but you could still fly.
And that's still better than like dealing with enemies on the ground, potentially being ganked.
Yeah, and that was one of those things where the Blizzard either thought it was a good idea or over-listened to the community, made that adjustment, and even the community complaining like, oh, monks are super underpowered right now, and then they buffed the shit out of them, and like they could drop those little healing orbs on the ground, just walk through them,
right.
And the mana that they required was nothing, so you could just continuously like put healing orbs in front of you, and no matter how much damage someone did, you could literally keep yourself up the whole time with just one spell.
Damn.
Maybe 2, because you'd need your dodge to get away, like your torpedo thing, like the thing we were doing in Knack II when I was punching you.
Yeah.
You'd fly across. That's basically what the monks would do. Mm. But I firmly believe that developers over-listen to over-listen to the community.
Yeah.
I think they give us way too much credit, and they think, oh, if we don't do what they say, they're not going to like our game. No,
Right.
the reason we're saying words about your game is because we enjoyed it.
Right.
So you did a great job. Go back to your think tank. Come up with some new ideas.
Right.
Take your time. Make a good product.
We'll be here when you get back.
Exactly. I'll wait. I don't need a game next year. I don't need your game that I love so much to turn into Madden or Assassin's Creed, where I'm getting a game coughed up at me every year. And not to say, like, I can't really say that Assassin's Creed is a terrible game.
Honestly, it's not. It's a really good game. It's just it's not for me.
Game franchise.
Hmm?
You talking about the first one?
The franchise, yeah.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed every one of
Yeah, it's
them
good
that I have
franchise.
played, and I will say that I have not played all of them because certain timelines don't interest me. Time frames don't interest me, and I just play the ones that look appealing. I don't play every installment, and then I just have fun with the ones that are nice.
Yeah.
If the people who are saying, oh, Assassin's Creed comes out for every year, it's just like Madden and all this stuff, and it's a terrible game. If you haven't played one since the first one or the second one, please stop saying it's a bad game. Like, give it a shot again before you say it's a bad game, because they've changed a lot about that game.
Yeah.
They've added a lot of really cool weapons and tools and progression systems and stuff. Go play Brotherhood.
Go play Black Flag.
That too. That's another great one.
I'm the only one that likes 3, apparently. Right.
Cool. Yeah.
I know I like 3. Black Flag's good.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's different strokes. Or Rogue.
Cafe.
Play Rogue. Some people like Rogue, some people like Liberation. Rogue's the one where you're the Templar.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are like, oh my gosh, fucking amazing. Don't play Unity.
Yeah, that one
That
that was riddled with a lot of bugs.
Yeah, and then I beat it, and I literally do not remember the story for that one.
Really?
I don't. I remember the beginning and the end. And then a couple times being like, oh, you can go into the house. Oh, you're back out of the house now. Yeah, it's fine. So, whatever. Either
Yeah.
way.
But game developers, just take it easy on listening to us. We're happy that you do what you do. We're supporting you to do what you do. Now, if we come across something, we'll be vocal about it. You then have the opportunity to look at it and review what you're doing, but don't take our word, except for mine, as gospel. And
Godspel.
gospel.
Yeah.
Eric has spoken.
You may leave.
The monks nerf monks now.
That shit.
But yeah,
Fuck 'em.
like, just do what you do. I mean, you went to school for this. You have the mind. You've been working on this forever.
Don't
Take
let
your time and do it, right?
don't let a little 12-year-old kid with a keyboard tell you that something's not good.
Don't let them tell you what to do. Don't give in to peer pressure.
Right, pretty much.
Well, even then, it's sometimes I'd assume that it's their bosses that are giving in to peer pressure. Like, they don't even really know what the game is. They're just managing them
Right.
and going like, hey, that thing that you said was supposed to be really cool, every time I get on the internet, they just keep telling me that Roadhog's hook is fucking broken. You're the one working on Roadhog's hook.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, boss. I'll get it. I'll get
Yeah.
on that. You know what Sonic could use? A gun. No.
Make them black.
Yeah, I was gonna say you puzzle.
No. We can't have blue hedgehogs with guns.
What about?
We need to put the black ones with guns.
All right, I think that's it for today. I'm Rosie.
JD.
I'm Eric.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Toodaloo.
Be sure to like, comment, subscribe.
Yep.
We do new videos.
Sunday Fun Day. Look out for it. We're playing Dark Souls, correct?
Was it Dark Souls or Bloodborne?
We're playing a Dark Souls and Bloodborne game tomorrow. Just look out for it. And I think that's it.
Be sure to check out our other videos.
Yeah.
We have hundreds of them at this point. Have a great day.
Bye.